Hello, Ian.
Hey Yuri, how you doing?
I'm very well. Nice warm regards from Prague. What about you? Where
I,
are you currently?
I'm in Nottingham in the UK, and a very warm welcome from here as well. It's actually a beautiful sunny day, which for the UK is not a given.
Yes, perfect. Our honored guest today is Ian Naylor, and I would like to tell you that I have myself compiled a short presentation about what you do under this video, but can you tell with your own words to our listeners, what do you do professionally? What is your job?
Yeah, so I guess how we came to be known to each other is through one of the businesses that I'm a co-founder of, which is Hyperise, and Hyperise is a image personalization toolkit used for using personalized images in outreach and for driving engagement. So my background is software, online business sort of endeavors.
Can you tell us a little bit more about these features? Because I'm very interested. You sent me one sample and I really liked it. Can you go a little bit more into that for the listeners, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So fundamentally, the strategy that Hyperise enables is to do with the way the human brain works. So the human brain processes images 60,000 times quicker than text, according to a scientific study. And it's significant. Whether it's 60 or 50,000 times, it's super fast. So what that means is that, and obviously that's no surprise, right? If you look at any marketing channel, it's inherently visual, right? So as marketers, as salespeople, we know that visualization helps, but it's interesting to know that majority, it's like less than 2% of like LinkedIn messages include an image. And the reason for when we can resort to sales, it's quite difficult. But ultimately having personalized images can help because images are processed so quickly. When we have personalization in those images, it triggers what's referred to as a pattern interrupt. And that pattern interrupt is like a psychological behavior that when the brain sees something that's personalized to you, it just shouts, stop, stop, stop. Look at this, pay more attention to it. It's something different. And that increased mind share leads to more engagement, which ultimately leads to more people taking your call to action. And so we have within Hyperise over 2,000 customers now, predominantly sales and marketing people that are using these personalized images in their outreach, and they can be purposeful in lots of different ways. For example, the one that I sent to you was related to an event, and so it was like a mock-up of an event ticket but personalized to you, right? So it was kind of, hey, look, this is how you can promote your event, and we do that when we put events on for Hyperise. Every time somebody registers for the event, we send them a personalized event ticket, which is actually a GIF, which also helps because the movement draws the eye in. And that generates like this moment of delight. They feel special, and then we say, "Hey, would love it if you could share that event gift to tell your audience that you're attending our event." And we see, in our events, a significant uplift, 50% or more uplift in registrations, through this virality that they can create. And that's just one use case of what Hyperise can do.
Nice, very nice, interesting. Let's go a little bit more into past. Let's look at the past from your life, some achievements, some things that you are grateful for, some things that you are proud of concerning your job, of course, because this is a professional medallion. So can you stress out some things that you are really happy from the past concerning your project?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you an interesting story that does relate to Hyperise because it was the genesis of Hyperise ultimately. So I've been running online businesses for over 20 years. And so I think, well, like life, business is kind of like layers, right? You kind of learn from your previous failures as much as successes. But as we're talking about successes, I'll focus on the lessons for the success. So my very first business, this was back in 1998, so long time ago now, was an online business, and we were importing built to order cars. So you would go online to the website, say, well, I want to order a Ford all the way to a Ferrari. We supported pretty much every manufacturer, 40 manufacturers, and you could spec the car online on the website and then order it. We would have it built with the manufacturer and delivered to your door. And typically, because you're cutting out the dealer network, saving 20, 30% in the process. Now, bear in mind, this was back in '98. So trying to sell a car online was pretty revolutionary, when probably the average thing being sold online at the time was a book from Amazon, So what we did to kind of increase the comfort factor was, every time someone went online and ordered an information pack or a quote pack on the car, we would print it off and send it in the post. Not very eco-friendly now, but like I said, it was 20 odd years ago. But what we found is that when we increased the number of pictures in the pack, it increased the conversion rate. So, all right, okay, so we started focusing on more imagery. How many images could we get of the vehicle? And then also what we did is, we're always looking for expansion revenue. How can we sell add-ons and all those sort of things? And so one of the most lucrative add-ons was private number plates, because they could go for thousands of pounds. And there was a very high, it was an affiliate scheme essentially, but it could be up to 50% commission if you were selling enough private plates. So, you could make more money on the private plates than you could on the vehicle sometimes. So what we started to do was, when we were sending out the pictures of the car, whenever it was like a front on or kind of back on picture, we would find the perfect private plate for that person and then put it in the image of the vehicle. And we ended up selling more private plates than we did vehicles in the end. And that was the kind of the light bulb moment, in fact, the eureka moment for me. And then bearing in mind that this was 20 odd years ago, we had somebody employed to do this manually, to search, with the surname to find the best private plate, and then load up like Photoshop, and put in the number plate, on the picture of the car. So it was a laborious task. Like I say, it took somebody a full-time job, but it was worth it because it generated, thousands of pounds, but per month. But more than that, like I say, it kind of really showed me the way. Two things actually. My next business after importing cars, after I exited that, was affiliate marketing, because the private number plates, we needed no real outlay in terms of product or whatever, to sell that. It was just affiliate marketing, which is great, but also the image personalization, which was a strategy that I've used again and again in every business since then, and has accumulated in, the creation of a personalized toolkit that enables what took, a full-time person, every day, to something that you could do automatically on the fly. And so I think that's got to be my greatest success, just because that was the foundations of everything I've done since. The affiliate company that I started after that then led on to me moving to Australia and meeting my wife and having a family, and then coming back and starting AppInstitute, which then led to creating Hyperise. So, everything is a journey, but that was probably the first stepping stone that I can readily identify.
Nice one. Nice job. And I see behind me Australia on the map. So yeah, just one personal question, just to digress a little bit from our business. Did you like this country, Australia? Would you like to come back, or?
Yeah, I lived in Australia for 4 years in the end. And like I say, I met my partner there. She's not Australian, by the way, but she just, we met there. So obviously I have fond memories. But yeah, the thing that I found being a European, being so far away, the time difference, you're effectively the opposite end. You're going to bed as your family are getting up, and vice versa. So it leads to lots of odd conversations when one part of the party is drunk and the other part is stone cold sober. But yeah, the country itself is beautiful. The people are amazing. The culture, the food, the healthy lifestyle that you can have in Australia, all absolutely amazing. If it was just a little bit closer time frame, or we could not have to do kind of like 24 hours of traveling to change, then I would be there much more often.
Nice. Thank you for recommendation, Ian. So let's move now to the present. Concerning the job, again, let's convey to our listeners a little bit more in depth what you are doing. Tell us, what special projects are you working on at this moment in your life concerning Hyperscience?
Yeah, so one of the interesting ones that we're working on now is to do with computer vision. So obviously what we can do with Hyperise is we can add personalization layers into images, into videos, even into websites. And that enables you to kind of create hyper-personalization, where you're personalizing the whole funnel. And what we're starting to do now is, obviously a lot of people now are talking about, like, say, the metaverse and all those sort of things, and the truth be told, we're a long way off that. Facebook is spending billions by the day to try and create that infrastructure, but we're far away. But there's a lot of kind of the seeds of what will become the metaverse, available now. Like, for example, you can have tracking markers and all those sort of things. And so some of the things that we're working on now with the Hyperise is like enabling you to record an image where you might just have a marker in your hand, and that could be, a phone or a business card or a letter or a sign, and then being able to personalize, a moving object in a GIF, using these kind of visual, like I say, computer vision trackers. And so that's quite an exciting thing, because it kind of opens up that next level where you're creating photorealistic personalization, at scale. Where at the moment, maybe the best equivalent would be kind of using something like Vidyard or something like that, where you've got to record one-to-ones to get that level of engagement. And of course, with Hyperise, it's all about trying to do things at scale to drive engagement, whilst not kind of, spending all your time having to do that. So that's something I'm personally very excited about. But yeah, I think overall, Hyperise as a whole business is still in a nascent market. We only launched just 2 years ago now, and have very, very few competitors still. It shows you kind of how new the market is. And so pretty much everything we work on is exciting, to be honest.
Nice.
Of that.
So please if you are interested in what Ian is saying, please write under this video any comment or question for Ian. We will be more than happy to answer you. And we are moving to the future. Can you invite us to some event yourself? Are you planning anything online? Because our audience is majority from the whole world. So what would you like to invite us to? Some event or action?
Yeah, I do have my, I do an event monthly. The next event is on the 29th of June. It's a LinkedIn event at 6 p.m. Central European time, which I believe is 9 a.m. Eastern time. And that again is really kind of an extension of what we've been talking about today, using personalized imagery in LinkedIn, in email, in your outreach, and how you can double, triple your engagement rates by doing that. So if anybody's interested in that, probably the easiest way, I can obviously share the link with you, Yuri, or you go to LinkedIn and search for image personalization in events, and you'll find it there. But that would be great, put a great smile on my face to see you guys there. And
because it's a time of holidays, not everybody will be there. Are these recurring? These events, are they repeated? We do an event every month, essentially. What I would say, even if you are away, still register for the event, and we'll send you the recording and all of the materials afterwards. Of course, sometimes you can't being able to do it live, so you can ask questions. So of course, get on our radar. Like our company page, or can join Hyperise, and you could even book a one-to-one with myself or some other members of the team. Next question is it's again personal, to mix it up a little bit. What about your hobbies? Do you have time with all your work for a free time? I have 3 children and 2 businesses. And so, that doesn't leave much time for personal endeavors. I went snowboarding for the first time in a couple of years in February, and other than catching COVID, that was pretty amazing. It's something I used to do a lot, certainly before I started a family. The other thing that I really like to do is I like to build things. Obviously, I build software. I've been a software engineer and built online businesses, but I like to build physical things. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the phrase soapbox, if you know what a soapbox is. So a soapbox is, I think it's an American term, but essentially building like a go-kart, but without an engine, and then you race them down a hill. So you're just using gravity to kind of get you to the bottom. And so it's like Red Bull, for example, putting on events all over the world, the Red Bull Soapbox Derby. And people create these amazing soapboxes, and then they all race them, not necessarily against each other, but against the clock. And obviously the fastest one down the bottom of the hill wins. So I've done that a couple of times, built my own soapboxes and raced them. Haven't really done much of that in the last couple of years because of COVID, but hopefully get back into doing that again, or building something else. I've just finished building a tree house for my kids. So again, anything that gets me out and building, in any material, I'm happy. Nice. Any final message, a takeaway message would you like to give our listeners? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say that if anybody listening that is in kind of a marketing or sales position, they're all reaching out and trying to engage with people, then do have a serious think about using image personalization in your outreach. Hyperise.com, and we have a completely free trial, no commitment, no credit card needed. So very little investment, to be able, other than a little bit of your time, to be able to prove, or kind of see for yourself, how it can have an impact. Hyperise integrates with thousands of different outreach platforms. So pretty much whatever you're using, from MailChimp to Mailshake to HubSpot or whatever, you'll be able to integrate with Hyperise, and add images, within 20 minutes of sign up for the trial. It really is that quick and slick to get going. So yeah, I would definitely suggest that as a starting point.
Thank you, Ian. I wish you good luck in all your endeavors. And Ian, Naylor, thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time. And Yuri, thanks for your fantastic hosting skills today.
Thank you very much. And officially, I would end this video. However, I'm very interested indeed in one more question. And this is the trends in your field. Do you see any future trends? Like, what would you say? Because you know your field well. Would you like to go a little bit briefly into depth there?
Yeah, I think if you look at, again, I kind of touched upon it a little bit before, where everything's going with the metaverse and all of that. And obviously on a very broad scale, that's where everything's going. And so we're going to see more people, looking at that as another channel, in the same way that social media is a channel, print was a channel, web 1.0 was a channel, and this is web 3.0, right? So that's going to be another channel. So wherever people exist, there's always going to be the want to engage. So that's obviously going to be one. But also artificial intelligence is something that's not quite there. Like, there are AI type videos and voiceover. Like, for example, Hyperise has artificial intelligence, so we can do text to speech. So in videos, you could have, people's names spoken, that sort of thing. And that's just about there, but not when it's trying to replicate your own voice. When it's a kind of generic actor's voice, when you can't tell, what it should sound like. I think that's just about there. But obviously, when it's replicating you, or even making your own mouth move, even for those Star Wars fans out there, you've probably just seen like The Mandalorian or whatever, or Boba Fett, where they made Luke Skywalker, with all of their billions, it still didn't quite work. And so there's a lot of great minds out there, working on AI projects that will enable this sort of thing. And it's not just the realistic, but also the speed that it's being done at the moment. It's not just in time. It's kind of has to be pre-processed and takes, weeks of training models to kind of get close. And then even the in certain variables can take 10, 15 minutes to generate. And so not quite there, but that's certainly where I see the future going in terms of perfecting the quality, but also the speed of being able to replicate.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Do you have any questions finally for me?
Oh, it's a good question. I mean, I guess, do I have any questions for you? I'm not sure if I do. I mean, I love to hear kind of more about kind of what you do rather than a specific question. But yeah, I mean, other than that, not
definitely. I will share very briefly. Basically, these podcasts are for all the people who do something interesting and something for this world, something interesting for this world. So I do with the globally with the bright minds around the whole world, whole globe, and I want to share in a friendly, positive way the cooperation between people. Yeah. So this is what my business is about. Besides that, I do networking sessions for the members of this podcast. So they can meet together online, they can discuss some interesting things, exchange friendships, and so on. So this is
fantastic.
This is about me. My name is Jiří Borč.
Yeah.
Thank you for this question, Ian. It was a good one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.